Ladies and gentlemen, scale storm system is now approaching the United States and is expected to bring a series of extreme weather events in the coming days. Not only will there be thunderstorms, damaging winds, and hail, but also the return of tornadoes and unusual temperature fluctuations. At the same time, over the Atlantic Ocean, a new tropical wave that just emerged off the coast of West Africa is moving westward toward the Caribbean, where it may develop into a tropical storm or even a hurricane next week. The combination of atmospheric factors at play right now puts the U.S. on the verge of a chaotic transitional period: hot, cold, stormy, and highly unpredictable. Currently, the focal point of U.S. weather lies in California. A strong low-pressure system has enveloped the entire state, bringing heavy rainfall and even rare tornadoes north of Los Angeles on Monday night. The rain bands are spreading along the Pacific coast, extending into Nevada, Arizona, and the Mojave Desert, delivering much-needed moisture after months of drought. For Californians, this rain is both a relief and a warning, a reminder that extreme weather is back and could become even more intense in the coming days. Meanwhile, much of the central United States is still enjoying relatively pleasant conditions, with some areas seeing mild heat where temperatures reach 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, mid-80s to upper 80s degree F. However, this calm is temporary. Meteorological maps show the upper-level jet stream dipping deep into the Rockies, setting the stage for storm energy to build up. This pronounced dip is a clear signal that a chain of low-pressure systems is forming and will move eastward soon, the start of several days of turbulent weather. Forecasts indicate that from now through the weekend, the U.S. will experience 3 consecutive days with a high risk of severe weather. On Thursday, unstable air masses will trigger scattered thunderstorms from New Mexico and Colorado to Kansas and Nebraska. Wind gusts could reach up to 90 km per hour, 55 miles per hour, accompanied by hail and brief tornadoes. Although the Storm Prediction Center, SPC, classifies the risk as marginal, the lowest level on its scale, it serves as an early warning for a potentially volatile stretch ahead. By Friday, a new low-pressure system is expected to form near the Texas-Oklahoma border. Warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico will surge northward, feeding massive amounts of energy into the atmosphere. Widespread thunderstorms are likely across Oklahoma, Kansas, northern Texas, and western Missouri. These initial storms will set the stage for a severe outbreak that peaks over the weekend. Saturday is projected to be the most dangerous day. Forecast models agree that a powerful trough will sweep across the central U.S., creating ideal conditions for supercharged thunderstorms. The low-level jet, a fast-moving stream of air a few thousand feet above the ground, could reach speeds of 50 to 60 knots, 90 to 110 km per hour. Significantly increasing tornado potential. Along a corridor from Texas through Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee, residents are urged to prepare for heavy rain, damaging winds, large hail, and dangerous tornadoes. If individual supercell storms form, they could spawn tornadoes. If they merge into a squall line, widespread damaging winds could be the main threat. By Sunday, the powerful storm system will move northeastward into the Great Lakes region. Central pressure could drop below 988 millibars, a level typically associated with strong winter storms. Areas from Michigan and Ohio to Pennsylvania and New York will experience gale-force winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. Across the Midwest, cold air pouring down from Canada will cause temperatures to plunge sharply, accompanied by strong gusts and cold rain, a clear sign that autumn has truly arrived. Even as this first storm weakens early next week, the atmosphere will remain unsettled. The upper flow will stay wavy or meridional, allowing additional low-pressure systems to form. 2 to 3 new troughs are expected to move across the Rockies and the central U.S., each bringing rounds of thunderstorms, gusty winds, and temperature swings. Meteorologists refer to this as the second severe season, a period in mid-autumn when cold Arctic air begins clashing with warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico. Beyond storms, temperatures across the country are also set to shift dramatically. Currently, much of the central and southern U.S. is running 8 to 12 degrees Celsius, 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, above average. With highs in the 33 to 35 degrees Celsius range, mid-90s degree F, unusually hot for mid-October. But once the Canadian cold front pushes southward, temperatures will drop abruptly. On Sunday, cities like Chicago, St. Louis, and Indianapolis could see highs fall from 30 degrees Celsius down to 18 degrees Celsius in just a day. By early next week, cold air will spread eastward, bringing morning lows around 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, in New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. However, by midweek, high pressure from the Gulf will return warmth to the central states, producing a striking, hot-cold-hot pattern typical of this transitional season. Such sharp temperature contrasts often fuel powerful autumn thunderstorms. Regionally, the western U.S., especially California, Oregon, and Nevada, will continue to see rain for several more days, with snow possible above 2.500 meters, 8.000 feet. The Southwest, including Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah, could receive 50 to 100 millimeters, 2 to 4 inches, of rain, raising the risk of flash floods in mountainous areas. The Central Plains will shift from hot sunshine to heavy rain by the weekend, while the Gulf Coast and Southeast will face stormy conditions as the cold front sweeps through. States such as Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida could see prolonged rain and isolated tornadoes. The Northeast will remain pleasant through Saturday before severe thunderstorms and strong winds hit Sunday, followed by a noticeable cool down with morning lows dropping to 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, mid-40s degree F, the first real chill of the season. While the mainland braces for a storm parade, the Atlantic Ocean is showing new signs of life. A tropical wave that just left the West African coast is moving westward at about 20 kilometers per hour, 12 miles per hour. For now, dry air and Saharan dust are suppressing development. But as the system approaches the Lesser Antilles early next week, sea surface temperatures and wind shear will become more favorable. The GFS model predicts possible tropical depression formation within 5 to 7 days in the eastern Caribbean, while the ECMWF model suggests a slower timeline. If this trend continues, this could be one of the last chances of the 2025 hurricane season to produce a strong storm in the Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico. The renewed activity is tied to the Madden-Julian Oscillation, MJO, a global atmospheric pattern that governs tropical rainfall cycles. Over the past 2 weeks, the MJO has been in a sinking phase that suppresses storm formation. But now, it's shifting into a rising phase, which favors convection and tropical development. Sea surface temperatures in the Caribbean currently sit at 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, 84 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. About 1 degree Celsius above average, ideal conditions for cyclone formation. Forecasters have outlined 3 potential scenarios. First, the tropical wave could strengthen and move into the central Caribbean, then curve toward the Gulf of Mexico, the most dangerous outcome for the U.S. Second, it could veer northward along Cuba and the Bahamas, potentially impacting Florida. Third, strong upper-level winds could push it out to sea, making it a fish storm that never threatens land, regardless of which path it takes. The signal is clear: hurricane season is not over yet. Interestingly, the same cold front moving south from Canada this weekend could influence the tropical system's path. If the front pushes deep into the Gulf, it might pull developing storms northeast toward Florida or the Atlantic. But if the cold air retreats early, the system could take a more westerly track toward the U.S. Gulf Coast. Over the next 7 days, the U.S. will experience a true weather transformation: scattered storms over the Rockies and heat in the plains on Thursday, widespread severe storms on Friday, a major outbreak on Saturday, then a cool, rainy Sunday across the east. Early next week brings the first frost to parts of the Midwest and Northeast, followed by another warm-up and new rain systems around Texas and Arkansas by midweek. Longer-range models hint at another powerful trough late in the month, ensuring the pattern stays active well into October's end. In summary, the United States is heading into a highly active and volatile weather period. A major storm system is on approach, bringing a high risk of severe thunderstorms, hail, and tornadoes this weekend. Afterward, a strong cold front will plunge temperatures nationwide, while a tropical wave in the Atlantic may evolve into the next named storm threatening the Caribbean or U.S. East Coast. Residents in vulnerable areas should stay alert to official forecasts, have preparedness plans ready, and never underestimate the power of these autumn systems. That concludes today's weather briefing. Thank you for watching. If you live in areas at risk for severe storms or tornadoes, please stay tuned to your local weather alerts. Keep emergency supplies ready, and take precautions to protect yourself and your family. We'll continue to bring you updates on the approaching storm system and the developing tropical wave in the Atlantic in our upcoming reports. Goodbye, and see you in tomorrow's forecast.